Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Alt Kings podcast. My name is Corbin, and this is my co-host Tate. And today we have a video on ISO 20022. Zesty, I know, Tate.
It's everything.
Yes.
It's literally everything. I'll put it at that. Needless to say, every single token we've talked about is ISO 20022 compliant.
Yep.
And needless to say, in modern financial markets, success is built on accurate real-time data.
Yep.
Being able to efficiently exchange data is key to providing cheaper, better services today and building bigger, more profitable businesses in the future. Yeah. And that's exactly what ISO 20022 revolves around.
Yeah. So from a baseline level, ISO 20022, mouthful. I hate having to keep saying it because I'm going to keep screwing it up.
More or less ISO 2002-2.
Yeah, essentially. But it's part of Swift.
Yes.
So I think we should start on
Swift,
and then we'll start to break down the iceberg.
For sure.
As it whore. But Swift is a global member-owned initiative and the world's largest leading provider of secure financial messaging services. So essentially, Swift is like code, but for banks.
Swift is the alt king himself.
Interesting.
More or less.
That's an interesting play. Okay. Huh, okay.
Needless to say, we praise Swift.
Swift does what they do. They do it pretty decently. But these ISO standards are essentially like how. So if you think about Swift as the code for banks, since it's their global universal messaging standard.
Yes.
Swift as a baseline is like, do you know about programming languages, Tate?
Not much.
Okay. So for Windows computers, a lot of the base code is written in C. It's just
Java,
it's just
right?
C. No, not in Java. In C as the baseline. Okay. And then there are separate little subcategories of C that have been added on over time because there needed to be more and more powerful solutions for people to create things with it.
Sure.
So you have C++, you have C++, you have C#. It's essentially
all the different forms of script.
Yeah, gotcha. All kinds of different forms of script. Each one is sort of like tailored to people's different needs. Some are more complex than others.
Gotcha.
Some of them have more features than others. It just kind of depends on what you're trying to create.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, and that's where ISO 20022 comes in, because it's like a new
standard.
Yeah, exactly. So Swift was actually founded in 1973 with 239 banks in 15 countries, and I think that was in, I don't know, I was about to say, I was wondering if this had something to do with World War II, why it had to be initiated.
I think it did.
Actually, it might have been with when did the Soviet Union fall? Was that the 90s? Either the 80s or the 90s?
I think it was the 80s.
The 80s? Okay. So, yeah.
I think late 80s.
Yeah, a lot of turmoil
90s.
In the world in that time frame. But in 1977, it expanded to 518 institutions in 22 countries. And then now in 2022, there are more than 11,000 institutional members from over 200 countries and territories. So Swift is massive.
And that's why we praise them, though.
Yeah.
More or less. I mean, it's the ruler of all.
It's the quant of the banking system. The overledger. It's the overledger of the banking system. Yeah,
200 countries. That's basically almost every country in the world.
Yeah, it's a lot of them. It's gonna change a little bit though because of Russia doing what they're doing and making a whole separate thing called BRICS. They did it with, I want to say it was Brazil and China, I think, are the first two on board.
It was Brazil, China, wasn't India one?
Maybe? I'm not sure. Because those are the other ones I know for sure. But anyway, it doesn't matter that much.
For sure.
But that's where ISO 20022 can help
comes into play.
Yeah, that's where it comes into play, because ultimately the standards Swift has been using are very antiquated in the way that they're structured.
Gotcha.
And their fee structure for actually writing these transactions and stuff for these giant banks and corporations and stuff.
ISO 2002 is a messaging system.
Yeah.
But not just, it's not more or less just sending like text messages. It's any sort of message.
Yeah.
Any sort of digital message.
Yeah. It's really good for handling cross-border payments.
Yeah. That's when all of these bad boys come into play.
Specifically this guy right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
More or less. And then for the messaging side of things, like IOTA or Algo, to send more, like more or less decentralized, I guess you could say like decentralized emails in a way. I don't know where I'm going with that. But I think it's just, well, because obviously there's more than just XRP on the list that is compliant.
Yeah.
And obviously XRP does a great job with incorporating all of the banks and making sure that any sort of major bank can transfer money at a very fast and a very efficient rate for a very low cost and very fast amount of time. But that's their major sector that they focus on. There's a lot more that goes into it besides just that. That ISO 20022 works around.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say like the messaging side of things. Like I'm not just talking about like the payments. I'm talking about like the communication side.
Yeah.
How they communicate and how that goes on. I mean, Ripple and XRP have a factor in that, but like Algo and IOTA also have their benefits.
Yeah. And like I see your point in that. And that kind of goes back to that infograph that we keep spamming up here, or I keep spamming in post up here.
The best infograph you'll ever see.
Yeah, about how they all interconnect together.
Yeah.
And they all have their individual little niches, but ultimately are still tied together because they are compatible with ISO 20022.
It's all connected.
It's all connected. Exactly.
Though Swift primarily started for simple payment infrastructure or instructions, it now sends messages for a wide variety of actions, including security transactions, treasury transactions, trade transactions, and system transactions.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what where I was just implying.
Yeah. So
the other tokens.
Yeah, exactly. So Swift is more than just cross-border payments. They handle a lot of other things as well.
They basically handle anything in the bank sector.
Yeah, for the most part, and anything that needs to be sent across borders.
Borders, yeah.
And it's a lot of stuff. It's a ton
it's
of
more
money.
than the mind can comprehend.
Yeah, it's a ton of money.
And we're not talking billions. We're talking
trillions.
Not
quadrillions.
Even quadrillions.
Yeah.
Yes, quadrillions. Yeah. And that's something that's hard to comprehend because nobody's really ever brought up that number. And I mean, you really only hear about billionaires.
Yeah, and it's even hard to comprehend that.
Yeah.
A lot of zeros.
That, but it's not as talked about. Like, there's got to be a point in time, well, there already is people out there who are going to be trillionaires.
Oh, yeah. I just think they're not talked about.
Yeah. They're just not on the rich list. They're not on that because they want to be hidden. They don't want to be in the public.
Yeah.
And there's just going to be a point where instead of just talking about trillions of dollars in market cap and money being moved, it's going to turn into quadrillions.
Yeah.
And then people are going to be like, when did this number ever come about? One, inflation, but two, just so much money in the world needing to be moved at a lot faster pace. And once ISO 20022 is implemented, it's just going to ramp up everything, like immensely. Like the whole system's just going to be on hyperspeed.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I say this every time we talk about it. It's just crazy to think about because there's just so much that is benefited from this.
Yeah.
And some of the benefits are the following. Increased operational efficiency through greater automation.
Yep.
More reliable customer due diligence, reducing financial crime.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big one because there will be less of an opportunity for cyber attacks, for hackers to breach into crypto accounts and steal money through the internet, because on a day-to-day basis now, millions to billions of dollars are just being pulled from people's accounts. Like this is kind of off topic, but I just saw on Twitter today that somebody just lost their Bored Ape Yacht Club.
What?
Yeah. It's because they were trying to do a trade with somebody else on this exchange, that the people who had their Bored Apes on this exchange that they were trying to change with the authentic holder of that Bored Ape, all they did was they stole Bored Ape photos. They put in the bottom right, because on each of these NFTs, in the bottom right on this website, it shows like a verified thing, like just like a green little stamp with a check in it.
Almost like a Twitter verification
more
check
or less.
Yeah.
But it's green looking. And so they just basically they
photoshopped it in.
Photoshopped it in, yes.
Okay.
And then they made the trade. And they lost that Bored Ape. The person who actually had the authentic one lost it to a fake one because it was photoshopped.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just the small things like that.
Yeah.
The authenticity just isn't there at the moment.
Yeah.
There's just so much that goes wrong. And it's unfortunate, but with secure networks and a secure ecosystem, could change everything.
Yeah, because it's kind of similar to what happened to OpenSea. Yeah, when they were doing a network upgrade, and somebody took, I don't know if it was somebody's keys. I remember this was a while ago, but there was a thread where somebody actually broke down what happened, and it was like 15 Twitter posts long. But it was actually really interesting to read about how OpenSea was upgrading their platform because Ethereum had a blockchain upgrade that just had gotten implemented, and OpenSea was in the process, that like halfway process of implementing it. Yeah. And somebody was able to slip some keys in between the transaction layer, and it ended up somehow they programmed it so the smart contracts would send the NFTs to this guy's account and not the person who rightfully bought its account.
Yeah.
And they only sent back the ones that weren't worth anything. I don't know how much, like, in terms of like monetary value that they stole, but it was I'm sure it was a considerable amount because it affected a ton of transactions.
That's terrible. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people lost a lot of money in that.
Yeah.
Too much money.
Yeah. Well, they were going to lose it anyways from Ethereum gas fees, but you know.
Anyways, some more benefits. Significant savings in managing cash, collateral, and credit.
Yep.
Better customer experience like real-time reporting, rapid onboarding, and instant payments.
Where blockchain really shines.
Yes.
Just in general for that.
Of course, yes. We have data-driven insights that cuts costs and boost revenues. Mm-hmm. That's just going to ramp up any sort of financial institution's source of revenue.
Yeah, it's also going to help improve their projections. Yeah, for what the future may hold.
Yeah, true.
Because it's easier to track all of those transactions and get maybe like a flat idea of, like, for instance, how you can see the market cap of any given cryptocurrency. It's a similar thing to that, where they could do that with all of their transactions and fees and stuff, and
prepare for the future.
Yeah, whoever's running the books at these banks is going to have a much better time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Reduced compliance risk through richer, faster regulatory reports, as you just stated.
Yep.
Invisible interoperability between markets, irrespective, and the underlying technology. Mm-hmm. It's a lot. They benefit the whole financial sector immensely.
Yeah, that invisible interoperability, regardless of the underlying technology, is really interesting, and I wonder how that's going to affect how they're...
Can't see me. That's
right, John
basically
Cena.
What it is. You just can't see me. It happens, but it doesn't at the same time. It's just not a messaging format. ISO 20022 is an open global standard for financial information. It provides consistent, rich, and structured data that can be understood by anyone and used for every kind of financial business transaction.
All of the money
every single piece of it. You won't want to miss this opportunity.
Not financial advice. Taticus.
But just thank us in 3 to 5 years from now when you listen to the Alt Kings on the day you watch this episode and you just knew what was to come.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We just trying to put y'all on, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
We here for the people.
Yeah, exactly. Also, we need to think of a nickname for you.
Me?
Yeah, because Taticus is not...
Taticus? When did this ever come about?
I just said it. It kind of just came out, and I was like, oh, this is terrible.
That's bad. I've never been called that.
Taticus.
Oh, my God. Oh, my. Please save me. But no, I've never been called that. It's been always like Tater Tot, Tater, Gator. My grandpa called me Gator. Yeah. What else? T-Money. Just a bunch of just DJing stuff. No?
I love that. Love that for you, bud.
I'll just go by, Tate.
Hey, at least you don't get the same two all the time. So I get Corbin Blue on almost a daily basis.
Now you get
from High School Musical, and then I also get
Rusizi.
Shout out to Vicente for inspiring the name. But the other one I get a lot is Corbin Dallas from The Fifth Element. So yeah.
Well,
good movie. Good movie.
It's not a bad nickname.
Not financial advice, but good movie.
It's not a bad nickname.
Yeah.
I'll stick to Tate though. I mean,
just Tate.
Be honest. Have you ever met another Tate?
No.
There you go.
Dang. I never thought about that.
I do that to everybody. I talk to people all the time. Like, have you ever met another Tate? Some say yes. Majority say no.
So we are living in a simulation.
I've actually met another Tate once. It was when I played soccer.
It was a glitch in the Matrix.
Literally. I'm a goalie.
Yeah.
Or I was a goalie.
Yeah.
The other goalie was named Tate. It was a Tate versus Tate battle.
Nice.
We know who won.
I'm going to put my money on Tate. Solid bet. Solid bet.
ISO 20022 is a major market initiative, being at the heart of Swift's strategy to enable frictionless and instant transactions. Going to ramp up everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to have a lot more data to work with.
Yeah.
A lot more data.
The payment industry will be migrating to this in over the next 5 years, which gives it some time to get out the kinks and stuff.
Yeah.
And definitely make sure it matures and develops, because it's going to come to each country over time. It's just not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
I mean...
November is going to be really, really big.
Yes.
Of this year. It's going to be really big. It's going to be rolled out in quite a few countries.
Yeah, the major countries. Like, they've been testing a lot in smaller third world countries just to see how things work and operate.
Yeah.
But it's definitely going to be coming to those major countries, obviously, like you said, in November. And that will definitely prove and show what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if the price action for these coins during that time period, to see if is it going to get picked up in, like, as soon as it rolls out, is it going to start like volume and everything is going to start ramping up, or is it going to take some time to like implement these coins into the system, because they are compliant, but just because something's compliant doesn't necessarily mean already integrated into the system.
It doesn't mean it has regulatory clarity.
And also regulatory clarity, which I think XRP might have by then, should have by then.
Yeah, it's knocking on our front door.
Nice. That was good. That's good.
Yes, XRP, hopefully by November, will have that regulatory clarity that we've been waiting for the last damn near 2 years.
Too long.
Yeah, too long.
Can you feel it?
Oh,
great Daft Punk song.
It's also why financial market infrastructures all over the world have already adopted the technology, helping users to do more business at much lower cost.
Yep.
Saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because we live in the United States, there's so many sorts of businesses in the United States alone.
Yeah.
But we can't even wrap our heads around the markets in China. We get everything from China.
Yeah.
Think about the businesses there. Mm-hmm. It's probably 10x the amount of businesses we have in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
And probably even more than that.
Yeah.
And those businesses alone need some sort of way to send their money and send their payments and all that goes with that.
I don't know if China's the best
example.
Sorry, because
let's put it at Japan.
Yeah, Japan, which has a lot of ODL corridors over in Japan.
Yep. Japan, India, things of that sort. And what else? Well, there's just so many countries. Any sort of manufacturing company or country, I guess you could put it at.
Yeah.
I mean, China's more or less in their own world.
Yeah. And well, they have their own digital currency too that's already implemented.
Yeah. But their digital currency will need to be able to bridge off and connect with others.
True. I'm actually not sure. I need to do some reading into that. Or we could maybe do a video on that of like how the digital
What's it called again? The Yuan?
Yeah. Of how the Yuan is going to integrate into other ecosystems. Because at the Olympics, it was last year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The Winter Olympics. They had given out like a ton of digital yuan for people to use while they were at the Olympics.
Oh, as a test net in a way.
Yeah. Like, I think it's a couple things. Obviously, China wants to implement their currency into as many places as possible.
They want to take over the world. And they play the long game with it. From what my understanding is, they play the very, very, very long game with trying to overcome the whole entire world in a way. Mm-hmm. But like, it's not like they're just trying to attack it at once.
No, and I think that's why they're siding so much with Russia right now. Yeah. I mean, right now, Russia and China are partnering with the Saudis with oil to possibly get a petro-backed either ruble or yuan and
control the oil industry.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily control it, but boost the strength of their currencies, and that strength is going to get sucked out of the US dollar, which means more inflation. Because we're going to have less buying power. And
we're just going to continue to pull from our own storage of oil. And then eventually we might run out.
Well, yeah, we can drill.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, they're not giving out permits.
We drill in the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah. And we see what happens.
Yeah, I get that. But like, we were at a point of where we had complete energy independence from everybody else.
What about just a couple years back, correct?
Yeah, like 2 years back, I want to say. We had energy independence.
Somebody was in office that time.
And then, this isn't a political show, but like,
no, not at all.
This isn't.
We're just trying to discuss the facts.
Yeah. And then a bunch of lease permits for these rigs to actually drill for the oil got revoked. I don't know who in the cabinet did that, but somebody revoked that. So we started buying more and more oil from Russia and Saudi Arabia. And
Russia wants to go to war with Ukraine.
Yeah, and then Russia wanted to go to war with Ukraine, and that's why oil prices are so high. Yeah. So, because we're not buying from Russia anymore, so who else are we going to buy from? Like, I mean, obviously we have the Saudis, but like, still, they're not stupid. They know that that's a good market opportunity for them to jack up the rate.
It's one of their best market opportunities.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing that they really have going for them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and they know that there's not a lot of drilling permits out there, so we're not going to start, ramping up production anytime soon.
But anyways.
Yeah, that was a long ramble.
Oh, we'll have to put timestamps back in there just for that one.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to put timestamps in the other ones.
It's all right.
Oh, no.
We just hope you watch through the whole thing. Enjoy our little rambles.
Yeah, I'll go in there and retroactively add them in the other ones. That's my fault.
No worries. Oh, no worries. But yes, over time, the Yuan, yeah.
Is it Yuan or Yuan?
That's what I was wondering.
Because I think it's Yuan.
Like
W-O-N?
I thought it was Y-A-U. I don't even know. But over time, we can hopefully see implementation and connection with all the digital assets around the world that are efficient and financially secure.
Yeah, it's Y-U-A-N, by the way.
Did I say that?
You probably did.
I thought I said Y. Yeah, I don't know.
Nice one.
But adopting ISO 20022 will ensure people don't miss out on the growing data-driven markets enabled by APIs.
Mm-hmm.
What's an API?
An API, I remember. I don't know exactly what API stands for, but it's like application
Programming Interface.
Yeah.
It is a connection between computers or between computer programs. It is a type of software interface offering a service to other pieces of software. Document or standard that describes how to build or use such connection or interface is called an API specification.
So it's like the foundation of a program. Yeah.
It's
like the building blocks.
And ISO 20022 will connect those and enable them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
These include open finance and digital assets. APIs are growing very fast, and not just as the basis of today's platform economy, but as the foundation of tomorrow's data-led economy.
Yeah.
It's a very fast-growing, productive market that has a lot of room to grow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's where Google and Facebook make all their money from. Because I mean, all they do is just sell ads. Yep. They collect as much information as
AdSense.
Humanly possible from you.
AdSense.
Yep, and then essentially sell ads. Yeah. That's their whole shindig. Well, I mean, obviously they do stuff with like Android or whatever, but like that is Facebook's source of revenue.
And now they're Oculus.
Yeah.
And Meta.
Yeah.
They're branching off a little bit.
Yeah, they are branching off a little bit, but at the end of the day, that's still all they're doing.
That's also where they continue to get their brand stronger, is through selling those ads and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, these companies are going to pay more and more money as Facebook starts to get smarter with its algorithms to serve people ads. So if you start getting, closer and closer custom tailored ads to your specific things that you like, or maybe you do tennis or something, and then you start getting rackets.
Oh, that already happens on a daily basis.
But the thing is, how targeted are they? Like, do you use a specific brand? Do you have a brand that you really like?
What happens is you connect your microphone to these apps. They listen into you. They listen to the words that you say.
Yeah.
And how you interact with your phone.
Yeah.
And then they base your ads off of those.
Yes.
Just your Google searches. Like, somehow they get a hold of your Google searches and all that stuff, and then next thing you know, they pop into your Facebook and Twitters and all that stuff.
The other thing, though, is a lot of people don't realize this. They're trying to add eye tracking into consumer-grade VR headsets. Eye tracking is already in like business level, like corporate level VR headsets, but they're once that gets implemented into consumer level headsets, that's going to be really, really interesting for how the ad structure works for these companies, because now they can see how long you looked at an ad.
Oh my goodness.
So if you're playing a game, and let's say Coca-Cola, for instance, maybe sponsors a game, and maybe your avatar goes down and like reaches for a cup or something, how long did you look at the Coke?
That? Or
Yeah.
Well, that, I mean, if they're able to just follow your eyes, you technically won't ever have to move your head again using a VR.
You'll still need to move your head,
but
because you'll need that degree of freedom. Otherwise, you'll get motion sickness.
I guess, yeah. I was just thinking that if you're just able to like look and it just follows where your eyes move in the VR headset,
that would be really good for people who have motor disabilities.
Yeah.
Or maybe have some sort of motor impairment. I could see that.
Because then I just see everybody sitting with their VR headsets on, just in their chairs, just moving and then controlling with their hands. Yeah. Moving with their eyes, or looking around with their eyes and controlling with their hands.
You already still kind of can do that. I did that with, there's this game called Poker Stars VR. Wow, we are so off topic, off of ISO 2022. Anyway, that's what I used to do when I would get home from work, is I would I had a first generation Quest, and there was this poker game that you could play in VR with people. And I would sit down in my chair and prop my legs up. And then essentially, because you move around with the joysticks, and I would just move around with the joysticks, and like anywhere you look is the direction you go. Sure. So I would just hold the thing and then just move my head in the direction I wanted to go.
Crazy. Now I kind of want to play that. But anyways, I mean, everything that we've talked about it's connected in a way. I mean, we fall off topic, but it branches off into different sectors of different things that kind of still connect in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
it's a very fast growing market that is still very underdeveloped and has a lot of growing potential.
Yeah,
I guess you could say.
Yeah, because we talked about it in one of our other videos. I forget which one it was, but if you think about the amount of population of the whole world that is unbanked, because perhaps maybe they're in a developing nation or a third world country or something similar to that, of where perhaps it wouldn't be feasible for these companies to actually build an entire branch there, but people have phones.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah. People have phones.
Yeah, a lot of people have phones.
People have phones, but they don't have bank accounts.
Yeah. So by having for instance, an XLM wallet, you could potentially use that to do things, because we're already seeing that whole structure start to get, to start to grow. So like from Nexo, you can get loans and stuff. And I'm sure as time goes on, you're going to be able to maybe leverage collateral for a mortgage.
You're going to basically more or less ISO 20022 eventually down the road. I feel like you're going to be able to get direct deposit through crypto.
Yeah.
To your bank, or not to your bank account, to your crypto wallets. Because already, we've stated this in the past, more people own a crypto wallet than a savings account now.
Yeah.
So we're already transitioning into that side of things. This whole world is going more and more digital rather than to that physical side of the bank sectors, where you go into the bank, you bring your cash with you, you deposit it into either your checkings or your savings account. Now it's more or less just going to be in your wallets, and you're going to be able to transact the way you want to, wherever you want to, however you want to, no matter what.
Yeah.
It's insane. But
accessibility is the name of the game.
That's all ISO 20022 is going after, is accessibility.
Now, what I want to see too that's going to be interesting is how this can be implemented in for the elderly population in terms of ease of use, specifically.
I don't think it will be a problem. I think the only problem will be the lack of knowledge and technology. And that's just like anything, though. You're not going to know how to do something right out the gates. You're just going to have to learn and experience and gain those sensual, like, understanding of how things work. Yeah. I mean, crypto's common sense in a way. Sure. You just have to go at it. You just have to approach it with an open mind, and you have to just be open to what it is. Yeah. Because, like, people get all confused about sending crypto to another wallet. All it is finding out where your wallet address is in the exchange, copying that, sending it to your buddy or whoever you're trying to send money to, send it to them, and then they'll just copy and paste it into theirs and send you the money.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I come kind of from a different perspective on that, because I've helped quite a few elderly people, with their phones
and stuff.
I mean with crypto. But also too with just using their phones in general. I know a lot of people that are scared to move away from a flip phone because of the complication. Like we get it because we've been in the system for so long. I mean,
we've grown up with it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like, I grew up with an iPod Touch.
I feel like as if someday flip phones won't be a thing, or they'll be a thing, but there's going to be a very small percent of people, as there already is now, using them. And it's going to be those people who are scared to progress and scared to grow with society, that stick to their flip phones and don't transfer into crypto, while the whole entire world is transferring and evolving into this crypto space. I mean, there's always going to be that small group of people who don't change with the rest of the people.
Sure.
And although it's probably more than likely a bigger percentage now, but over time, it's really just about over time and the way that things develop and progress as a whole. Because I don't see, I mean, obviously it definitely is a problem trying to send, you would never be able to send money through crypto on a flip phone. Not possible.
No.
But
I mean,
it's probably possible.
Yeah.
If you have some sort of Wi-Fi.
I actually have an idea.
Light bulb just went off in your head.
Light bulb just went off. A lot of these flip phones are using Android, but a very, very simplified version of Android, essentially. And Android is an open standard. All of these flip phones have to have 4G built into them because they just shut off 3G. And 4G is a very competent, internet standard for phones. Yeah. So theoretically, somebody could create an app specifically for these phones that would simplify the process of everything. Yeah. Maybe using HBAR or something, because my thing is, I could see people getting concerned that they're not going to remember their wallet address.
Yeah, or their seed phrases.
Yeah, or their seed phrases. Well, the seed phrase thing, you just write it down and then... Because that's part of it being decentralized.
A lot of people will lose those seed phrases. That's the problem. But that's with anything.
Yeah.
You can't... That's just more or less a maturity.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing with HBAR that I like about it is your address is very, very short. It's 0.0.6 numbers.
Really?
That's it.
I didn't even know that.
Whole address.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like if you're sending it to an exchange, there's going to be like a little memo
for sure
involved with it too. But I mean, that's the only. So we've been in crypto now for how long, Tate? A little over a year, right?
Yeah, I'm coming up on 2 years.
Yeah,
you're probably
coming up on 2 years.
Yeah, you're probably a little. Yeah.
My HBAR wallet address is the only wallet address I know off the top of my head because it's only 6 digits long. Well, I mean, it's the 0.0, but whatever.
It's shorter than your phone number.
Yeah, it's shorter than your phone number.
So that wouldn't be a problem to adapt to.
Exactly.
If it's off of something like
HBAR.
HBAR. But HBAR is, one, a very, very reliable token.
Yeah.
And
very quick, too.
Yeah.
Very cheap to
it's everything.
Use. Yeah.
Definitely see us growing in an immense amount. So,
yeah, somebody needs to build like a senior DApp for HBAR that would allow you to be able to buy and sell cryptocurrency using it.
That's an idea.
Yeah.
It just you just really have to simplify the process all the way down to like a kindergartner level.
Yeah. Well, maybe not a kindergartner level, but
it's almost more or less. Think about it. There's kindergartners out there who use a phone
and iPads and stuff.
Yeah, and they play these games. They learn these little things on it. They develop their minds or fry their brains from it. But
being on TikTok all the time,
you really just have to dumb it down to the dumbest possible way so everybody understands it.
Yeah.
But
makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's a messaging system that is here to change the world.
Yeah.
And the way that we move money and the way that we basically communicate in all sectors. But not just me and you. Banks.
Yeah.
And that's where all the money is. The 6 tokens that mean the most in this sector are the following. XRP. We don't have XLM up there, but XLM.
Wait, we don't have XLM up
We
here?
do not. We don't have a couple of them. We just have XRP,
HBAR. I was so excited to be able to...
We have XRP, XLM, XDC, IOTA, Algorand, Quant, and HBAR.
Yes.
But HBAR is not a part of it yet.
No, HBAR is not a part of it yet, but it wouldn't be that... No. I don't think it would be that difficult for them to implement it.
It checks off, if you got a checklist of something that is ISO 20022 compliant, it checks off basically everything.
Yeah. Kind of like Quant too. I don't think Quant is officially...
No, but the protocol has stated Quant a couple times, but I don't believe it is 100% compliant. I just know they've talked about it in the past.
I'm sure they could add it at some point.
There's a lot they can add.
Yeah.
For sure. But with that being said, we thank you all for another great episode.
Absolutely.
We hope you didn't hear the dogs in the background. That's why I made that face.
Yeah, those dogs, I swear.
Anyways, this has been ISO 20022. We hope you learned something from this. And
this was not financial advice.
None of this was financial advice. We're just trying to educate the uneducated.
Yep.
That's what we're here for, and that is the Alt Kings Crypto Talk Show. I don't know what I like better, Crypto Talk Show or Crypto Podcast. They both hit different.
Yeah, they do. podcast for now. And then, because eventually we want to be able to do live streams and stuff and take questions from the community and stuff.
Grow into a crypto talk show.
Grow into a talk show. Yeah, I like that.
More or less we already are, because now we're talking more face-to-face than directly at the camera.
True. More conversational. Yeah.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
We hope you have a great day.
Indeed.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Bing bang!
Bing bang.
There.
More editing.